Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and in today's episode we're gonna talk about how to explain products to your customers. I've intentionally decided to call it how to explain a product to your customers or services because that is what is called doing a proper presentation to your customer in terms of the business you're doing. Now let's start from how you're supposed to do it, and this is part of what we call the sales cycle. If you have gone through my previous video, you've learned about how to look for customers and how you'll be able to get people who are joining your business and how to qualify them. Now today, I want to talk to you about how to qualify those people you have gotten from the various markets we discussed in my previous episode. And those people now, when you talk to them, they will basically be able to buy the product or the service you are doing. Now, we start off, and by this time I assume that you've already gotten their contacts from the prospecting. So we start from a point of where you have the business card, or probably you have maybe the contact of that person. And the first thing you need to do is to make a call to that person. And how do you make the call? The call should be made between office hours, that is between 8 to 5, so that it becomes an official business call. You don't call people at night in their houses. You don't call them very early in the morning. So between 8 and 5, that is when you call. But there are exceptions to the rule. If, for example, you are talking to people who are going to court, like lawyers, you know, of course, after 10 to 3, you'll probably not be able to get them because they are in the court and they are doing their business. If you are talking to a doctor who has a schedule maybe for a theater at 2, you'll not be able to get them. So you need to know what time to call. But now this becomes very tricky. How will you be able to know when to call? So what you should do is, you should ask the customer, at the point of getting the business card, is when should I call you to discuss business? And they'll tell you, for me, you can call between 2. And there's a secret we use of how to get people buying your idea or be able to give you an appointment. And the first one is being to give an open-ended question. Can I call you tomorrow between 2 to 5? Or maybe at 3 p.m. or 9 a.m. So give 2 options, don't give 1. So at this point now, I do assume that you have already called this person and you're going for the meeting. Now, my presentation today starts at the point of doing the presentation. And how do you start it professionally? The first thing you need to do is to do fact-finding. Fact-finding is where you find out about the customer. Remember, we talked about you're talking to people in the cold market, people you have never met before. Now, these people, you need to know much about them. Don't just come and start selling your services or product and become like a parrot giving stories. No. You need to explain step by step. So you find out about the person, where they stay, what do they do for a living, what is their income bracket, and most important, what is their concerns in life. And I'm going to assume you are talking about one product. Let's say you want to sell to that person a health supplement, for example, or a beauty product. You need to know what are their concerns. You won't sell that person a shoe. You need to know what do they need. Are they buying shoes locally? Where do they buy shoes? What's their size? If you're about supplements, what is their feeling about taking supplementation and all those things. And number 3, you also need to talk about how can you be able to assist that person to change their buying habits or be able now to influence them to buy from you. Now, in the fact finding, you'll also find about their interests. Other interests, for example, if you're selling insurance, you need to know what is their most interest in terms of, are they keen on saving for their family? Do they care about what happens after death? If you're talking about maybe you want to sell a car, are they keen on now how they are going to drive in town, how people perceive them, how big is their family, what car they need, and so many. I'm sure by now you get the idea of how to be able to do fact finding. Now, the moment you have that, remember you have a notebook and you're taking notes. And again, guys, here you're not doing like you are a policeman. Oh, what's your name? Where do you stay? No, you're doing it in a systematic way. Engage the customer. Make sure the customer even answers questions. The customer is able now to become relaxed with you, and you make it like natural. And in this case now, I want to discuss 4 key aspects you need to follow for you to be able to do a proper fact finding. And we say that is the MAINS test. MAINS test. The M is for money. Find out about the money aspect of this person. Number 2, find out about the age. bracket of this person. The interest is for the high, and the need is very important. And lastly, about the sense of responsibility. That is what we call the MAINS test. Make sure that every customer you get, regardless of the product you're selling, you are able to take that customer through the MAINS test. And in two, when you know about money, you want to know what is their position. Do they have much money or they don't have money? And I'll give again the example of if you're selling like maybe supplements, you're selling insurance, you're even selling the car. This way you find out whether this person is going to afford buying cash, is going to go to the loan, whether it's about the supplement, whether this person will be able to afford them, it's about insurance. All those things, I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. Now, once you do that now, you understand the money position of this person. And in my the other videos I'm going to share with you with time, you'll be able to see how you can use lack of money or having so much money to the customer that you are able to get business from there, because it works two ways. The lack of money does not mean that you're not going to get business. The too much money does not mean that you're not going to get business. So you need to understand. That's why we are going to do the fact finding. So once you understand the position of the customer in terms of the money, you need to know about the age. Different age groups have different needs. Age groups, the young people have different interests with the older people. I'm sure you get why you need to find out the age. In that case, you don't need to ask that person, how are you? How old are you, sorry. Age is a very sensitive factor, and especially even for ladies, but there are ways you can go around it and find out. For example, you'll be able to see this guy as kids were in school, primary, secondary, so you can be able to know around how old this guy is. Number three, you'll be able to know how they relate in life, where have they worked, for how many years have worked. So those things can give you an idea, of course, in addition to the physical aspect of this person. Then when you come to the interest, is very, very important, because the interest will give you, is this person really interested in the product? I'll give you an example. Supposing you're selling a car to somebody who wants to buy a bicycle. The interest is not there. The interest is not there. And when I explain the interest, you'll be able to understand the difference of the interest as compared to the need. Now, interest is now what is going to pull that person to become attracted to your product. So we go to the need. And the need is now what is the most important necessity. What is bothering that person? What is that person want to be solved? And the need is what we are going to be discussing. When you talk about how to do the presentation now, you'll be able to see why the need is so important. So the need will give you an idea of what are the needs of this person, and you need to emphasize more on solving that need. Remember, you are a problem solver. So if this person is not going to be you will not see that you are assisting that person, assisting him or her to solve the problem, then why would he buy your product? Supposing the need is that this person wants to buy a bus and you're selling a small car, you think he's going to buy? This person wants to buy maybe an education policy, and you're selling maybe the retirement or the death or personal accident. This person wants to buy maybe supplements for the father, but you want to sell that person maybe skincare products. So you can see the range. You need to understand exactly what you're selling. Then S is for sense of the responsibility. No matter how much that person has a need, no matter how that person wants to be able to buy your product, but if he has no sense of responsibility, guys, you're not going to buy your product. And that's why we say now, you need to make sure that this person has a sense of responsibility, that he has an interest beyond what he needs himself. He has a responsibility in the society, he has a responsibility to the family. If it's about the car, he wants his kids to be going to school with a nice car. That's a sense of responsibility. If this person, he wants to buy maybe supplements, he wants to look nice. And if this person has all those other things put together, you find that everything is working out well. So guys, when you go through the main test, you'll be able to qualify your prospect in terms of the fact finding. You'll have so much information. And as I conclude this, please make sure that you don't make the interaction of asking about the personal information about the customer in the fact finding as a questionnaire. Make it normal, discuss, engage the customer, make sure that they're asking open-ended questions. You engage them, you make sure that they are answering questions, and don't give closed questions. An example of an open-ended question is that life is a bit tricky nowadays. Would you be okay if I give you a way to be able to empower your income? Would you be okay if I give you a solution of how your kids will go to school? Of course, the answer is yes, and so many other questions. Now, once you've done that, guys, you are sure we can move to the next level of our presentation, of where now you are going to do a proper presentation to the customer. And for today, I just wanted to highlight those four so that you know how you'll be able to explain to the customer the product because you know them. And remember, you have a notebook and you're taking notes. All those things, you put them down, and don't make sure that the customer can see like it's a questionnaire you're asking and answering and what. No. So with that in mind, you'll be set, and I can assure you that if you follow these simple steps I've shown you, you'll be able to turn out of every 10 people you talk to, 6 or 7 will join your business. And that is what we call the closing ratio. Closing ratio is another topic you'll be able to cover with time to see how to turn prospects. And before that, we talked about people, everybody you find in town being a suspect. A suspect becomes a prospect becomes a customer becomes maybe a client or the sort. So with that, you'll be able to do a good presentation and you can be sure your customer is good. So for now, guys, you go practice those. In my next episode, I shall be talking about how to explain your business or product step by step. And that because now you know the customer, you are set to go. So for now, guys, bye-bye and have a blessed day or evening, depending on which part of the world you are tuned in from. Thank you and bye-bye.